Happy Saturday, everyone. I'm just doing a quick little video to kind of recap some news. There's some more. I've been talking about that Goldman Sachs investigation that's been opened up into a criminal investigation now, and apparently now they're going after J.P. Morgan too for silver manipulation. That's one story, and I'll let you read it down below. Yeah, it looks like now the government needs scapegoats, and now apparently is the time where they need to be able to point fingers around at people. And now the argument, if you read some of these articles and the comments below them, now the argument is, well, who is responsible for this? Well, it's all just a revolving door up there anyway. Between Goldman Sachs, the government, the Fed, people are wondering, well, Goldman Sachs, well, they were only just playing, the hand they were dealt. Well, they're all the same people. And it's all been a total scam from the beginning. You know, Nobody just by accident uh, did these real estate and equities and commodities pumping and oil manipulation. And if these people really wanted something, they could just go back to where Goldman Sachs pumped the oil price up to 148, and meanwhile all their people were saying it was going to 200, and then they slammed it down from there back to 40, and now it's back up to 80, and that's all manipulation. And Goldman Sachs and JPM run the whole thing. Um, what else is there? Big story about the Fed and their Treasury redemptions, and just in the month of April, that's $650 billion. It's a record, and what it shows is they're having to, it's like somebody with 10 credit cards maxed out, and every month they're getting 5 new credit cards and just maxing them out. That's what the Fed's doing right now. Read that article. It's really, that's really quite amazing. What's going on behind the scenes, and it's an emergency time when they're having to do that just to pay the bills. They're having to deal with $650 billion a month now. It wasn't that long ago. It was back in 1995. The entire federal budget was only a few billion, 300 billion. Now we're having to come up with $650 billion a month. Um, so you can see that this whole road is just uh, it's quickly ending. You got to panic, of course, in the equity markets. Now at the slightest sign of anything, people are, dumping equities. So we're up 121 day. The very next day, we're down 150, and so this stuff's starting again. And it's like I tell my friends, as soon as we get one of these mornings, and it'll happen where the Dow 15 minutes after opening is down 600 points and all this. It's just right back to square one again, and they don't have any answers for any of it this time, except for what's going on behind the scenes, and they'll just declare, martial law on us. And these states are moving. I just heard that Oklahoma outlawed militias now. Uh, it's constitutional. Outlaws. Oklahoma though says that if you are recruiting for a militia, that's automatically it's a 5-year prison sentence. So that's the way we're going. And then we got these oil wells, which are that's just the craziest story ever. That's fishy as hell. We got SWAT teams from the Department of the Interior. Whoever knew that the Department of Interior had SWAT teams? And what are they doing with an oil well anyway? And Obama says it's a national emergency. It's a national emergency thing. For what? For a SWAT team? What aren't they telling us? Or is it just SWAT team bomb disposal or installation experts that are down there? So that stuff's crazy. Yeah, I was listening into one of the blog TV or one of the radio shows last night. And they had some guy on there. It's the Restore the Constitution movement. And these guys were talking about how yeah, we got these protests, and yeah, we're doing good because the people we're protesting, they like us, and we're not causing any trouble and all this. And I don't know, I don't think there's any chance of this, you know a little peaceful protesting thing to accomplish a thing. Nobody gets anything done in this type of a situation and we're just going to protest peacefully now, and they were bragging that the other side, they said, well, yeah, the Brady people were there and they were worried that people have guns. We assured them, no, 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 we're not going to do any of that. Um, who is going to change anything? If we ask for the Constitution to be restored very nicely, they will. That's the whole thing we're going on now. I'll just say my personal point, my personal philosophy on the whole thing is they're desperate for the people to do something against them so they can start declare martial law on us, and I really think that they're going to go ahead, they're going to blow up a couple of their buildings, kill some people, and then point the finger and say, oh, see, it was the Christian militias who did it. See, we have to have martial law and collect everyone's weapons. It's the only step between here and their final means is the people are armed. It's an armed country. It's not Argentina. You know, um, where they can just declare whatever they feel like. It's a heavily armed country, and that's their stumbling block. So, hey, anyway, I'll just pass along a couple things to you, and I'm just kind of chatting this morning. So, we'll see you. We'll see you later, and I'll leave you your links. Thanks. Bye. Let's go fishing.
It's really important to keep a steady rhythm action when you're working this lure. I want to keep my rod tip jerking the same all the time, and the amount of line that I'm taking up is also crucial. Leave a little bit of slack in your lure, and man, it'll come through the water really good. You don't want to rack action. A lot of times with a jerkbait, we'll do a
Crazy dog.
quick
Crazy dog.
another top baits. But on this, I just want to keep it steady all the way back to the boat. Line choice is a real critical key when fishing this technique. I use fluorocarbon lines for a lot of things, but this is not one of them. Fluorocarbon will sink and will keep that nose of that lure down, and it won't allow it to run properly. So you really got two choices, either braided line or monofilament. And my choice is braided line. I'm using 50-pound test, vicious braided line. And the reason I like the braided line, number one, it floats. It stays on the surface. It's going to allow that bait to walk side to side. But most importantly, when I push these fish in this heavy cover, especially if I get a good fish on, I want to be able to have a line that's going to break through that grass and allow me to get that bass to the boat. This lure comes in two different sizes, a 3.5 inch and also a 4.5 inch. And we're fishing with the 3.5 inch today, but it's very important that this lure is rig straight. And I want to show you a little bit about it. It has a slit on the belly here, and that's really there for a reason, for hook penetration. It allows for more movement in the hook when you set the hook on a fish. But it's also important in rigging. Now, what I like to do, I like to bring the point of the hook in straight through the top of the nose. That's going to allow that bait to run true. When I get to the bend of the hook, I want to simply bring it out the throat in that slit, bring it straight out, run it up the shaft of the hook. When you get to the R bend, rotate it and bring the eye of the hook all the way through the nose. Now, this also is very important. Bring the point through the slit again, because where you exited with the throat and come through in the belly, that's going to keep that lure on there perfectly straight. Now, this hook size is also very, very important. Don't use a small hook like a round bend hook. That hook is going to get lost in that plastic when you try to set the hook. As you can see here, I've still got a 1/2 inch gap for hook penetration, so that when that fish bites, he's going to get hooked. There he is. He's not the big one.